Hello everyone, HMT here with this short video on the cosine law. The cosine law is a tool to help you determine side lengths and angle values in oblique triangles. This triangle is oblique because it contains no 90-degree or right angles. Look at how it's labeled. Capital letters for the vertices and lowercase letters for the side lengths. Now, capital A represents this vertex, and the lowercase version of A represents the length of the side opposite that angle A. And opposite angle C, or vertex C, is side lowercase c. And opposite vertex B, or angle B, is side lowercase b. Now the capital letters themselves take on the numerical values of the angles they represent. Right? The angle at this vertex is here. The angle at this vertex is here. So these capital letters take on those internal angle values. The cosine law itself is this. A squared equals b squared plus c squared minus 2bc times the cosine of A. Now, this looks kind of complicated. Where did that come from? Well, I'm devoting another video to the derivation of the sine law and the cosine law from scratch. The purpose behind this video is to get you up and running quickly and to use the cosine law with efficiency immediately. There are two circumstances in which you use the cosine law. Those circumstances are when you know two sides in contained angle and need the third side. When you know two sides and contained angle, I'll explain this, and you need the last side. So a diagram of that situation is here. In fact, it's the first example I'm going to do. So look what I have here. I know this side, and this angle is contained between the known sides. So we say two known sides in contained angle, and we need the far side, the third side. That's the first circumstance in which you use the cosine law. I'll be doing this exact example in just a minute. The second circumstance in which you use the cosine law is this. When you know already all three side lengths and you need one of the angles. That's the other circumstance in which you use the cosine law. This is an image of that, and I'll be doing this example for you as well. See, I know all three side lengths, and I need to know, for example, this angle. How do you find that angle if you know all three side lengths? Those are the only two times you use cosine law. For everything else, there's sine law. All right, let's get started with our examples. The first example is this. Now remember, I talked about the importance of the opposing pair. The cosine law, the statement of the cosine law, begins with a side and finishes with an angle, and they are an opposing pair. So this is the important opposing pair in this triangle. It's important you identify that before proceeding with the cosine law. So the cosine law here would look like this. X squared would be the start of it, and then it would finish with cos of 130 degrees. And the other sides fit in the middle like sandwich filler. You just put them in there. 3 squared plus 2 squared minus 2 times 3 times 2 times cos 130. And that is the cosine law. right? That side is opposite that angle, just like in the original statement of the cosine law, which I gave you. All we need to do is work out the value of the right side, then take the square root to knock off the squared symbol, and then we are done. Let's look at this. So x squared will be 9 plus 4. 2 times 3 times 2 is 12. And the cosine of 130 degrees is going to be minus 0.6428. So x squared is 9 plus 4 is 13. Now remember, these two are glued together by multiplication. You can't go 9 plus 4 minus 12. That's a common error. Make sure that doesn't happen to you. We're going to go negative 12 times negative 0.6428. And that will give us positive 7.7136. So x squared turns out to be 20.7136. Now that's the square of the answer. We want the x value itself, and so we square root both sides, and we get a value of 4.55, accurate to 2 decimal places. Now the other circumstance you use cosine law is our next example. When you know 3 sides and you need an angle. So this works out as follows. Remember, what is skill number 1 when we're about to apply the cosine law? Find the opposing pair. So 4 and theta are the opposing pair. It's not 7 and this unknown unneeded angle. It's not 10 and this unknown unneeded angle. It's 4 and this angle. So your cosine law begins with the side and finishes with cos theta. So you would write this. 4 squared commences the cosine law and it finishes with cos theta. The other numbers go in like sandwich fill in the middle. So that would be, in any order you like, 7 squared plus 10 squared minus 2 times 7 times 10. And that's your cosine law statement. Now here it's slightly more complicated. Our job is to isolate cos theta. Make this expression alone on one side of the equation. The other side will turn out to be a decimal, and then you press inverse cos to work out the angle. So let's get started on that. Isolating cos theta, that's the job here. So this gives us 16 equals 49 plus 100 minus 2 times 7 times 10 is 140 cos theta. Okay, so far so good. Add these numbers together. Remember, 140 is joined to cos theta via multiplication, so you can't go 49 plus 100 minus 140. These two are glued together by multiplication. Think bed mass, order of operations. So I've got 16 equals 149 minus 140 times cos theta. What we will do now is subtract 149 from both sides. Right? So I get minus 149 from the right side, minus 149 from the left side, and then I will have minus 133 equals minus 140 cos theta. Now these are attached via multiplication, so to eliminate that negative 140 and isolate cos theta, I will divide both sides by minus 140. So I'm going to divide this by minus 140. I will divide this by minus 140. These guys cancel out, and then that means they divide to 1, right? When teachers say cancel, they mean divide to 1. And these guys here, they'd simplify to positive 0.95. Normally you would track 4 decimals, but in fact this actually simplifies to precisely 0.95, a 2 decimal expression. Now to find the value of theta, you take the inverse value of this, and that's inverse cos of 0.95, and that gives you theta is approximately 18 degrees on your calculator. And that's how you use cosine law, those 2 situations. For everything else, there's sine law. Thank you very much. If you enjoyed that video, please like, subscribe, and share. If you have suggestions for topics you'd like to see covered in future videos, please put those in the comments below. Thank you very much.